Welcome to my Theory to Practice project. The learning theory of Vygotsky puts an emphasis on the social aspect of learning and how different situations promote different cognitive development. I feel that I can apply this theory to my classroom by creating the best possible learning environment for ELA instruction. In my classroom, this will happen through activities like class discussions, table groups instead of single desks, and book clubs. Parts of the physical layout of my classroom will also help to emphasize the social aspect. As I stated, the students will be in table groups of 3 or 4, which will allow them to think, pair, share on a regular basis. There will also be a rugged area where we will have class discussions and book club meetings to improve their speaking and listening skills. Near my desk, I will include a corner with comfortable chairs and a sofa for silent reading time. This area can also be used as a silent area to do homework for those students who perform better in a quiet environment. I want to structure my instructional day to mirror how I have set up my classroom. I'm going to emphasize collaboration with class discussions and partner work, but also allow students to work alone and come to conclusions by themselves. This mix of strategies will help my students to become more well-rounded in the area of ELA. Collaboration in the classroom will also allow my students to build knowledge about reading, writing, speaking, and listening from other students in the class. They can relate to strategies that other students use for things like picking out important vocabulary or making inferences about characters. I will also require my students to work on projects alone and develop original ideas through writing prompts and presentations in the classroom. Setting aside time for my students to work on their independent writing skills is key. As I have stated, I will be using the writing workshop model, which can be flexible and use collaboration or independent writing. Through this model, I will make sure to cover the major writing styles so my students are well-rounded writers. They will work collaboratively on these styles of writing, but also alone to produce their own work that I will be able to assess them on. Through this model, I will be able to center my many lessons around the Common Core standards that my students must achieve. The standards are ambitious, but I believe that presenting the information through different strategies during this model will increase their understanding dramatically. Presenting the information in many different formats will also allow me to address the multiple intelligences or learning styles in my classroom. This strategy also applies to the different types of text they will be reading. Throughout my schooling, there was a large emphasis on just informational and fiction text. I will integrate persuasive text, poetry, fiction, and nonfiction, so my students will have an appreciation for all genres of books. This will also allow my students the ability to discover a love for one of these genres. Some genres are more applicable to certain content areas than others. Integrating ELA into content areas is something that I will attempt to do as often as possible. I will have a designated ELA section of the class, but a large focus will be on this integration into other areas. Journals are a great example of how I will be able to integrate into science content. The students will be able to make observations during a weather unit or journal about what went well and what did not go well during an experiment. Presenting findings about a math concept through the use of a presentation will also allow for more integration. This will also improve their speaking and listening skills. Instead of me lecturing about a certain concept, these presentations will display the information to students in language that is more relatable. Reading, writing, speaking, and listening are skills that will be used in every aspect of their lives. Integrating these skills into many other content areas will allow them to make connections and practice using these skills in as many contexts as possible. So much of today is consumed in technology, and I need to prepare my students for that reality. Creating a trailer for a book using iMovie is an example of how to integrate effectively and tap into their creativity. I will make sure that I am enhancing the content with my technology integration as well. Some of my teachers use technology to waste time or present the same information just on a different platform. My emphasis will be to provide my students with technological tools that not only increase their understanding, but can also be used in their future school experiences. Piaget's learning theory has an emphasis on self-initiated discovery, which allows students to retain information at a higher rate. Encouraging students to tell me what they have learned from our reading time will help with this. Instead of telling students what to look for in a book, I will have them tell me what they think is important and why. This theory can be applied to other areas of ELA classrooms such as Writer's Workshop. This type of instruction allows students to take control of their learning. When students are able to make choices about what activities you do or what books you read, they'll be more involved and engaged. I will also be applying the Reader's Workshop model as part of my instruction and can apply the strategy to that model. During the mini lesson, I may choose the content that we cover, but the students will be able to apply those new strategies to a range of books that they have chosen. My students will be able to get excited about reading and present their findings if they enjoy what they are reading. I always found myself much more engaged in books that I chose rather than those assigned to our class. Creating a spark of interest is a main goal of mine during my ELA instruction. Presenting the information through a wide range of content as well as technology integration will facilitate that. I hope to create a classroom full of enthusiastic readers and writers who have had experience with a wide range of topics and activities. Allowing my students to be in charge of different aspects of our lesson will keep them engaged and help them feel that they are a crucial part of the classroom. I do not want to have a class where the students feel as though they are inferior. I want my students to feel that they are just as crucial of a part as I am. Through collaboration, student-led discussions, and other strategies, I feel that I can accomplish this goal and produce a class full of language arts enthusiasts.